Hello and welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today. Before we dive into some very important updates that affect millions of South Africans, I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel. By subscribing, you'll never miss the latest news on SASSA payments, pensions, and benefits. This is especially helpful if you or your loved ones rely on these payments to make ends meet. Staying informed is one of the best ways to prepare for changes and make the most of what is available. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because the information we share could make a real difference in your life. Now, let's talk about the big topic of today, SASSA payments for September and October 2025. Many people are asking what's new, what's different, and how this will affect them directly. In today's video, we're going to break it all down in simple and clear language so that everyone, whether you've been following this news for years or you're just getting started, can understand exactly what is happening. We'll be looking at old age pensions, disability grants, child support grants, and even the ongoing discussions about additional relief payments or stimulus support. Most importantly, we'll discuss why September and October 2025 are not the same as previous months and what that means for you and your family. Let's begin with the SASSA Old Age Pension, which is one of the most important grants for millions of older South Africans. For September 2025, the payment schedule is set to begin in the first week of the month, as usual, but there are some slight adjustments in timing due to the way the calendar falls this year. For many seniors, it is critical to know exactly when money will arrive, because bills, food, and medicine cannot wait. In September, payments will begin earlier in the week, which may feel unusual compared to past months. In October, the payments will follow the standard pattern, but the amounts will reflect the mid-year adjustment that was announced earlier this year. That means you will notice a slight increase compared to what you were receiving at the start of 2025. While this increase is not very large, it does make a difference, especially for households that are stretching every rand. Now, one of the most talked about topics is the cost of living crisis. Food prices, transport, and electricity have all gone up, and seniors on fixed pensions often feel the pressure the most. For this reason, the government confirmed that a top-up adjustment was included for the second half of the year. That is why September and October payments are slightly different from earlier in the year. The increase is meant to help cover inflation, but of course, many people feel it is still not enough. It's important to know that these increases are automatic, so you don't need to apply for anything extra. If you are already receiving the old age pension, the disability grant, or the war veterans grant, the increase should appear in your September payment onward. For those receiving the disability grant, the same rules apply. September and October payments will reflect the updated amounts. The government has stressed that no one needs to reapply for these increases, they are applied to all existing beneficiaries. That said, if you recently had to renew your disability status or provide new medical documents, you need to make sure everything is up to date so there are no delays in receiving your payment. Sometimes people miss their payment not because of the increase itself but because of missing paperwork or expired medical assessments. If you or someone you know has not received their money, the best step is to visit your nearest SASSA office and check the status rather than waiting for the next payment cycle. Child support grants are also included in this update. From September 2025 onward, the grant will reflect a small increase that had been planned earlier in the year. While the child support grant is one of the lowest payments, it is also one of the most widely distributed, reaching millions of families. For parents and guardians who rely on this money to buy school supplies, food, and clothing, every increase matters. October 2025 will continue with the new amount, so families should budget accordingly. Remember, these payments are always released on the specific schedule SASSA provides, and delays can sometimes happen, but usually, they are resolved within a few days. Another important point for September and October 2025 is the ongoing discussion around the Social Relief of Distress Grant, sometimes referred to as the R350 grant. Many South Africans are asking whether this grant will continue, increase, or be replaced with something new. As of now, the government has confirmed that the SRD grant will continue at least until the end of 2025, which means both September and October are covered. What makes these 2 months different, however, is that there are new verification measures being introduced. This means that while most people will receive their payment as usual, some may experience delays if their banking details or personal information do not match the government's database. It's very important to make sure that your information with SASSA is correct. If you have changed your phone number, bank account, or address, update it as soon as possible so that there are no issues with your payment. One major difference about this payment period compared to earlier in 2025 is the way SASSA is rolling out communication. The agency has said that they are increasing SMS notifications to help people know when their money is ready. In September and October, you should expect to receive clearer messages about your payment date and status. This is designed to reduce confusion, especially for those who travel far to collect cash at pay points. For many seniors, standing in long queues is difficult, so these SMS updates are meant to save time and prevent unnecessary trips. We also need to discuss the broader issue of stimulus payments or once-off relief payments. Many people are asking whether there will be an additional payment in September or October, similar to what has happened in past years. At this time, the government has not announced a once-off bonus or stimulus payment for these months. Instead, the focus is on maintaining the existing grants and adjusting them for inflation. However, discussions are ongoing about a more permanent basic income support program. While this will not be ready in September or October, it is something that could affect millions of South Africans in the near future. For now, the most important thing to remember is that your regular grants will continue and that the increases applied earlier this year are still in place. Let's take a moment to talk about the payment methods themselves. In September and October 2025, SASSA is encouraging more people to use direct deposits into their bank accounts rather than collecting cash at pay points. This change is not forced, but it is strongly recommended for safety reasons. Unfortunately, there have been reports of theft and scams targeting people on payment days. By receiving your money directly into a bank account, you reduce the risk of losing it or being targeted. For seniors who are not comfortable with online banking, you can still use your SASSA card at ATMs and retail stores, which gives you flexibility while still being safer than carrying large amounts of cash from a pay point. Another difference this time is the emphasis on fraud prevention. In both September and October, SASSA has said they are increasing checks to make sure payments go to the right people. This means if there are duplicate applications, incorrect ID numbers, or suspicious activities, payments may be temporarily held while the issue is investigated. While this can feel frustrating, it is important to understand that these checks are meant to protect the system and make sure that the money is going to those who need it most. If you are one of the people whose payment is delayed because of verification, the best step is to keep your documents ready and respond quickly to any requests from SASSA. Many people are also wondering how these payments connect with other benefits. For example, seniors who receive an old age pension may also qualify for rebates on electricity or municipal services. In September and October, it's a good idea to check with your local municipality if you are receiving all the benefits you qualify for. Sometimes people focus only on the cash payment but forget that there are other forms of support available, such as discounts on property rates or free basic water and electricity. These small savings can add up and make a big difference when combined with your monthly SASSA grant. Now, let's address a concern that comes up often: what happens if you don't receive your money on the scheduled date in September or October? First, do not panic. Sometimes there are banking delays, especially if payments are processed over a weekend or public holiday. Usually, the money appears within a day or two. If it takes longer than that, the best option is to check your balance at an ATM or through your banking app. If the money is not there after several days, then it is time to contact SASSA directly. They can provide information about whether there was a problem with your account, your ID, or the payment system itself. The important thing to remember is that you should not pay anyone to help you get your money faster. There are many scams where people pretend to be SASSA officials, but the truth is that no one can release your money except SASSA itself. Looking at the bigger picture, September and October 2025 show us that SASSA is trying to modernize the way payments are managed. The increases for pensions, disability, and child support are part of a long-term plan to keep up with inflation, even though the amounts may not always feel like enough. The continuation of the SRD grant shows that the government recognizes how many South Africans still struggle with unemployment and poverty. And the new communication and verification steps are designed to improve trust in the system. What makes this time different is not just the money itself, but the way it is being managed and delivered. For seniors and families relying on these grants, the key takeaway is to stay informed, update your information regularly, and make use of safer payment methods where possible. If you budget carefully and plan ahead, these September and October payments can provide more stability in uncertain times. Remember also,